What is going on, guys? Newton here with MMO Play, bringing you guys a quick guide to Demon Hunters for patch 2.3 or Season 4. Now, Demon Hunters they're okay this season. They haven't really changed much since the last patch. The same build that they ran last patch, was the Multishot build, is still the same meta build that they're rolling this season. But a few things did change with the cube, making them a little bit better, but on scale with every other class this season, they seem to be kind of lacking and not as powerful. So they do fall off a bit, but don't get me wrong, they're still a pretty decent class and a lot of fun to play at that. So, getting right into things, how you're going to get yourself ready to start pushing T8s and higher, this is exactly what you're going to need. And once you acquire these things, you should be just about ready to start speedrunning and getting yourself a little bit more geared and start getting those Paragon levels. So let's get right into it. First, we're going to need our gear. Now, what gear set are we running? We're running with the Unhallowed Essence build. Now, this build is basically going to boost the damage of your multi-shot, and basically, this is kind of the meta build this season. Other builds are, they're not as great as this one and tend to fall off, or a little bit harder to build. This one is it's a very easy go, and once you get things going, it's going to give you the most damage right off the bat. Now, I have played with some other builds for this class, but this one seems like it's going to be the best right off the bat, and it's going to get you going pretty quickly. So, as far as things go, you're going to need the full 6 set, every single piece. You're not playing around with anything too much. Once you acquired all 6 pieces, you should be good to go. All you got to do is just roll it to kind of get that damage boost, and then you should be pretty good to go. You can go ahead and ignore the Rain of Vengeance on that roll. I want to go ahead and re-roll that again eventually, but that's not what you should be rolling with this build. You definitely want to get that multi-shot damage or some critical hit chance and damage along with this build. Now, for our weapon, very essential part of this build is the Dead Man's Legacy. Multi-shot is going to hit enemies twice below 58% health, which is extremely helpful, and basically a lot of your damage output is going to come from this this quiver, so it is pretty essential part of the build, and I would definitely recommend you that you acquire this because a lot of damage output is coming from this. As far as weapons go, pretty much any one-hander or bow is going to work pretty well right off the bat until you can get the weapon that increases the speed of your multi-shot, which is Yang's recurve, and increases your multi-shot attack speed by 50%, which is really, really good, but not necessary. You can still roll some greater riffs and start along the way without it. And as you see here, I have a pretty good one-hander. It's a pretty good roll on it. I can go ahead and I could probably roll some damage and throw a gift on there. It wouldn't be too bad, but overall it's pretty viable, and this has got me along pretty far and gotten me pretty well. Now, as far as a belt go, I would definitely recommend you guys get a Witching Hour. A Witching Hour is going to give you a huge damage boost for this class, giving you attack speed, which is great. Attack speed is great for this class. The more attack speed, the fire you get off your multi-shot, which is pretty good and really essential. Well, I would say really essential, but the attack speed really does help along with the crit hit damage. It's a really, really nice belt to have. Now, as far as our braces go, I'm rolling with Nemesis bracers. We increase the fire damage by 20%, which is pretty good. Our multi-shot does fire damage, which is pretty ideal. Some pretty decent rolls on this Nemesis bracers. You can kind of roll with whatever braces you choose to, as long as you get some good rolls on it. I just choose this one because we get those mob spawns from those shrines, and it helps us complete greater refs a little bit faster. So, as far as risks go, you can kind of roll with whatever you'd like to get things going. Now, as far as legendary gems go, we're going to be rolling with Bane of the Stricken, Stone of Vengeance, and Bane of the Trapped. Now, you can play around a little bit with these legendary gems, but generally these ones are going to give you a huge damage boost, and they're really going to be your pretty essential damage boost or damage dealers along with the build. But I think you can play around with it a little bit depending on how your playstyle is. You can switch out Bane of the Stricken for an Ice Blink. I think an Ice Blink with the passives that you're rolling along with the Bane of the Trapped is going to give you a stronger or a bigger damage boost once these all acquire level 25 later on. But to each their own, they're both very viable. It just depends on your playstyle. But I think once you get them to 25, I'm probably going to switch this out for an Ice Blink because I think it's going to work a little bit better. Now, as far as our skills go, skills are pretty straightforward and simple. We're rolling Evasive Fire for focus, so it's cold. It's going to go ahead and It's going to chill the enemies. Along with the Ice Blink, we're slowing enemies, which is really nice, which is I like it at 25. This works really, really great, and it generates quite a bit of hatred. Next, we're running Multishot with Arsenal, so it's dealing a good deal of damage, as well as shooting out homing rockets that deal 300 damage. We get a boost for that, which is nice, so a lot of extra damage coming from this. Next, we're running Companion with the Wolf Companion. This is going to go ahead and give us a damage boost whenever we activate it, which is really, really nice, always helpful. You can play around with this a little bit. Sometimes I do like to go with our Bat Companion just to generate a little bit more hatred. You can play around with it, but if you really looking for max damage output, I would definitely go with the Wolf mount. Next, we're rolling Vault with Tumble. Next, we're rolling Vengeance with Seath, so that way we can gain more hatred while this is active, allowing us to spam a lot more, and it creates homing rockets, and we do get a lot of damage boost for the homing rockets, which is nice, so it works pretty well. And then last, we have Preparation with Focused Mind to give us more discipline, because a lot of our damage is based on how much discipline we have. The more discipline we have, so the more we have and keep this full, the harder our multi-shot will be hitting, which is nice. So it's good to have if you need to vault and use up some of your discipline. This will help replenish it, which is pretty nice. As our passives go, we're rolling with Ambush to deal 40% additional damage to enemies above 75% health. So we're dealing bonus damage to enemies above 75% health, and once they hit below 48%, we're hitting them twice with our multi-shot. So this works very, very nice. We're constantly dealing a good deal of damage to enemies no matter what health percentage they're at. Next, we're running Ballistics. We're doing increased damage for our homing rockets, which is what we get from our multi-shot, and our Vengeance, which is really, really nice, so a good damage boost there. Next, we have Perfectionist, which is reduced the discipline cost of 10%, which is really nice. Multi-shot can get a little bit costly at times the more you're spamming it, so this really helps with kind of keeping your hatred costs down a little bit, and there's some more things to help you out. I'll show you guys after that, but this also increases your toughness a little bit, so it's also nice to have. And then next we have Call of the Week, increased damage against slowed or chilled enemies. Also, where Ice Blink is going to come in very handy later on. So once you get this 25, that's going to be another 20% damage boost, a constant damage boost, which is really, really nice. So like I said, at 25, I think this one's going to give you more DPS output other than Bane of the Stricken, but I already have this ranked 12, so it's helping me out a little bit, and I'll probably switch this out, like I said, later. So, as far as our cube goes, the cube is not too complex. Rolling with Convention of the Elements for our ring slot, which is going to give us a 200% elemental damage boost, which is really nice and works pretty nicely on most classes, I should say. Next, we're rolling with Cinder Coat. Cinder Coat is going to reduce the cost of our fire skills. Now, our multi-shot is a fire skill with a rune that we're running with, so the 33% resource cost reduction on that is very, very nice, allowing us to spam it a lot more and not have to focus about generating hatred. And then next, we're running the Ingome, which reduces the cooldowns by 10 seconds for 15 seconds after killing an elite pack. This works really well in Greater Rifts after killing elite packs because it helps you with the cooldown of your Vengeance. You can keep this up more, which is a huge damage boost and really, really helpful with pushing and clearing things out very quickly. So, as far as things go, you're eventually going to want to switch this out for a Calamity, I believe it's called, which is going to give you another damage boost, which is every time you hit an enemy, they're going to go ahead and get a Mark of Death, which increases your damage to them by, I believe it's 50%. We can go ahead and check that out. It is marked enemies take an additional 20% damage, which is really nice. So once you have obtained that one-handed crossbow, you're going to go ahead and switch that out. But for now, this is this works very, very nicely, and it helps you start speedrunning 35s and T8 plus pretty much right off the bat. Now, as far as things go, that's pretty much it for the class. That's exactly what you need to get started. It's very easy and very simple. Not a lot to it, not a lot that's really required. And pretty much what you obtain the full set for the class, you're just about ready to go and start pushing those Greater Rifts and start leveling your class and start making some more progress on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into a Greater Rift 35 for you guys to kind of show you the how efficient the class is and how great it is. Now, this is a very fresh Demon Hunter. I just got this character geared, and I'm gonna show you that basically being a fresh Demon Hunter that I am able to push 35s pretty much right off the bat, which is a nice start to obtaining some better gear and farming some more items. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the video for you guys and show you kind of some progress in the 35 and how much damage output the class does along with how the build works. Alright guys, so as you can see here, I'm about halfway through this level 35 rift, and we're making some pretty good progress, and overall, we're not doing too bad. Now, if you guys did notice, attacking these enemies, they are being slowed. I did switch out my legendary gem for the Ice Blink because I think it does increase survivability a bit. So if you're having a little bit of trouble running these 35s early on, Ice Blink will definitely help you out with the survivability because it allows you to keep distance between you and the enemies that you're hitting. So if they can't get next to you and they're being slowed, you are able to keep your distance. It definitely helps with survivability, like I said, and allows you to take them out much faster because they're not so close to you, and you deal higher damage being farther away, which is it's not a bad deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep going on over here, kind of making some progress over here. We're making sure we keep up their slow with our basic attack, and then using our multi-shot to kind of whittle them down. And overall, it's not too complicated. It's not too hard of a class to really get used to. Use your basic shot, use your multi-shot, and not only that, making the use of both of those, you're getting your focus and restraint up, getting more damage boost, which is really nice. So constantly, you're always having damage boost and damage increase to enemies, whether they're under controlment impairing effects, being chilled for survivability, your restraint, your focus. Either way, the damage output for this class early on is not too bad. It's pretty good, and it's a really fun class to kind of mess around with. So let's go ahead and kill these elite mobs over here. Let's go ahead and dodge that. We don't want those to hit us. Alright, let's go ahead and keep taking these guys out. We can kind of spam this guy. Ooh, we don't want to die. Let's go ahead and kite that. Keep spamming it down. There's one more. There we go. There he is. So let's go ahead and use our wolf. We're going to use this. And now we're going to take this down really quickly. As you can see, with the wolf up and our vengeance up, we are getting a huge damage boost. And ultimately, it takes no time to really take out elite packs or just a bunch of trash mobs in general. So let's go ahead and keep taking down these guys. Oh, let's kite that a little bit. Keep our distance, which is always key. Keep taking these guys down, and kiting is always really good. Now, one thing I love about this class is you can keep your distance, and you can keep it relatively well. It's not too difficult to kite away from enemies and make sure you're out of danger. With the constant control impairment effects, such as the slows and other things like that, in your vault, you're always out of danger, and it's also always very easy to get out of danger. So let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna go ahead and channel. Oh, we don't want to die. They're fearing us, which is can be very dangerous. Use our cooldowns once again. Kite back a little bit. Sit back and just basically blow these guys away with all our heat-seeking missiles and our multi-shot. Oh, we want to kite out of that, and we should be able to take this guy out pretty quick. And there we go. No time at all. We just took out all the spawns from the shrine, and making some really good progress on these 35s. And like I said, this is a very fresh Demon Hunter. I just got this guy geared, and I did roll a Demon Hunter last season, so I do know them pretty well. But I just wanted to show you guys how good they are in general, just right off the bat. You don't really have to do much to them, and you're always making some pretty quick progress with Demon Hunters. Now, as far as pushing greater rifts, they do kind of fall short, and they are a little bit weaker compared to other classes this season. But don't get me wrong, they're still pretty darn strong, and they're extremely fun. They've always been fun. It's one of my favorite classes, I gotta say. So let's go ahead and continue. We're almost done with this rift, and like I said, as you can see, we're really not having too much trouble. The Ice Blink does really save us and does increase our survivability. I did have a little bit of trouble without when I wasn't rolling it, but overall I did still complete the 35 with a pretty decent time, which wasn't too bad. But I think it does help you out if you don't have the survivability or the huge damage output yet from getting all your gems to 25. Now, getting your gems to 25 will make a huge difference. It really does, but just generally right off the bat, it helps quite a bit. Let's go ahead and continue on. Oh, we got a speed shrine over there, and I think once we get the summons, we should be able to get the what we need to start fighting the Rift Guardians. Let's go ahead and take these guys out, kite them a little bit, keep our distance. Like I said, very key, but very easy to do. All right, let's go ahead and use this, pop our cooldowns, start blowing these guys down, keep our distance once again, and spamming our multi-shot. The homing rockets and the multi-shot together do a ton of damage. Let's go ahead, and as you can see, we're doing pretty good damage to this guy. Taking him down a little bit slower, but I think he does have a little bit more health. There we go. We can go ahead and gather these. Kill probably one more pack of trash mobs, and we should be able to start fighting the Rift Guardian. There we go. We can go ahead and take these guys out. This should be enough to get us going. Oh, we're going to go ahead and get our hatred up. We're going to go ahead and get our discipline back up. take these guys out, and the Rift Guardian is now up, and you can see how much damage we're going to be doing to the Rift Guardian. Oh, can't do much damage if we're dead. Okay, I didn't expect that one, but we can go ahead and revive our corpse. That was our first death. No big deal. Let's go ahead and keep back a little bit. Let's use our wolf to kind of give us our damage, kite out of the way, heal up, and start doing some more damage to him. Like I said, keeping your distance is very key. You're going to do enhanced damage that way. The farther you are away from him, let's go ahead and kite away once again. Dodge those ice. Those ice are those are very, very annoying, and those will take you out pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and, oh my gosh, I guess this wasn't a very good spawn for Rift Guardians. Okay, alright, I see how it is. Let's go ahead and resurrect once again. We're going to use the cooldowns of our wolf and our vengeance, and we should have this guy pretty much dead within a few seconds. So hopefully it doesn't charge. Let's go ahead and kite out of that and out of the ice, which will you know, probably be a pretty good idea. Let's go ahead and get out of that. Use our potion. And then a few more hits and he should be dead. So generally he did charge at us. We're a little bit squishy, which, I mean, as expected to be from a very fresh Demon Hunter. But once you get those greater, or those legendary gems leveled up a little bit, and you kind of get used to the class, you should have no problem starting to push 40s, 45s, even 50s. If your Paragon levels are high enough to kind of help you out. But overall, I mean, early on, the class is a lot of fun, and you can start doing those 35 solo. You can run with groups, of course, and either way, once you get that 6 set, you're ready to go. And it's a class I suggest you guys check out. It's a lot of fun, a lot of mobility, which I really enjoy, and a class that I've been playing for a little while, and one that I know rather well, and I enjoy playing every season. But if you guys have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. But until next time, guys, I will talk to you later.